Hello and welcome to News Now on TV360 Nigeria. Today is the International Day of Human Rights, and the head of Nigeria's army has delivered a message to assure Nigerians and the international community of its commitment to the respect of human rights. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tuka Buratai says the army firmly believes in the promotion and protection of human rights and also embraces the idea and message behind the day. Army Chief also says the military is willing to do its part to spread awareness and support for human rights every day. Buratai used the opportunity to pay tribute to Nigerian soldiers who have died in the anti-insurgency war in the Northeast. He also appreciated the support of various international bodies, including the Red Cross and the United Nations. Well, despite Buratai's assurances, foremost human rights group Amnesty International is asking the International Criminal Court to investigate the Nigerian government over alleged failures to sanction military commanders and terrorists suspected of grievous human rights abuses in the Boko Haram war. The group is accusing the Nigerian government of being unwilling and unable to meet its obligations as a member of the ICC to investigate and prosecute both Boko Haram and the Nigerian military. The demand comes a week after a report from the ICC's Office of the Prosecutor said most of the Boko Haram-linked cases being pursued by the Nigerian government are related to membership of, support for, or failure to report terrorists. And away from human rights troubles in the Northeast, in Lagos, a foremost human rights activist, Joe Dumakin, says the Nigerian government is making steady progress in the protection of civil rights. Dumakin, however, notes that insurgency is a limitation to the progress made so far and wants the government to do more.
As we speak, in terms of insurgency, the government has been doing a lot, but we still have a lot more to be done. No one has a right to take anyone's life. So in protecting lives and property, we see that life has become brutish, hellish, shortish. Boko Haram keeps violating rights, taking people's rights. People are burnt. You also see the question of the herdsmen. You see that life has become shortish, hellish, and brutish. Life has become so cheap and worthless. The government has to be proactive in terms of protection of human lives. You find our security chiefs. They should be proactive. They should try and organize less and organize more so that lives can be protected.
To anti-corruption matters now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has taken the campaign of anti-corruption to the streets of Abuja by engaging Nigerian youth in an anti-corruption half-marathon. EFCC Acting Chairman Ibrahim Magu says the war against corruption is total, and the Commission is using every strategy to get Nigerians to understand the dangers of corruption and join in the fight. TV360's Annetta Felix now reports.
Young men and women from different parts of the country are out here in Abuja to compete for the EFCC Anti-Corruption Half Marathon. This event is put together by the anti-corruption body to sensitize Nigerians on the evils of corruption, both in the public and private life of every Nigerian.
People have come out openly to identify with the anti-corruption activities. You have national heroes, Mary Onyale, Choma Ajoyinga, Samson Siasia. These are names that rings bell, and they did so well for this country. So it's very, very encouraging. The fight against corruption has come to stay. Don't bring corruption back. Oh. I'm telling you, it has stayed. No going back. We are going to fight. And I want to call on you, all of you, everybody here, to join in the fight against corruption, because that is the only thing we can do to save this country.
Some of the winners at the event also share their views on the fight against corruption and what they want the governments to do about it.
This type of competition is going to wipe out the corruption among youth, because where corruption are most is among the youth. But by an organization to set this type of competition, as you can see, you see the youth from every part of the 36 states are here to compete for this competition because of the money they put. So, you know, by doing this, honestly, they wipe corruption in Nigeria. Once more, I'm saying kudos to anti-corruption because they do a wonderful job.
The side effect of corruption in Nigeria is it disqualifies many people not doing anything, because in the process of this corruption, maybe someone will intend to do something for people, and people that he will get them to support him in doing it, they are the ones that will also contribute in corrupting.
EFCC says this marathon will be a regular feature to help keep youths out of crime and drugs and encourage them to be responsible. The event was graced by former Nigerian athlete Mary Onyali, among others.
A high-profile corruption case involving the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Paul Usoro, has been adjourned till December 18. Usoro is standing trial before Federal High Court in Lagos over money laundering allegations leveled against him by the EFCC to the tune of 1.4 billion naira. The alleged sum was said to have been received from the Akwa Ibom state government. Now, at the first hearing on Monday, Usoro's lawyers told the court that they were yet to be served with a charge sheet. While shifting the arraignment to December 18, Justice Mulsim Hassan directed the EFCC to ensure the service of the charge sheet on Usoro. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has been embarking on a door-to-door campaign to seek support for the All Progressives Congress APC. The Vice President has been visiting some households in Lagos ahead of the elections, and Annetta Felix has the rest of the details.
With less than 70 days to the 2019 general elections, campaigns are in full flow with several political parties seeking support for their candidates. In Lagos, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is taking the campaign of the All Progressives Congress to the next level. He's embarking on a door-to-door campaign to meet with supporters of the party in the southwestern state. In the Ogba area of Lagos, he's met by a loud cheer from party supporters who did not expect him. He then goes into some houses to hold talks with some families. At the end of the tour, the Vice President addresses reporters on the reasons for his campaign strategy.
I think one of the best ways of just generally checking to see where people are on several issues, how they feel about different things, is to go and visit them at home. So we just decided, why not go and visit people in their homes? So that's exactly what we're doing. I think it's quite an interesting thing, because it's incredible how, first of all, how much people know, you know, and how very able they are to express their feelings about various things and what they expect. You know, our people are remarkably patient, remarkably understanding, and it's incredible how much people even understand of what is going on in the economy, in the politics, everything. So I found this extremely educating.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and President Muhammadu Buhari will be seeking a second term in office in the presidential elections next year. Annetta Felix, TV360, Lagos.
Well, before that campaign tour, Osinbajo held a town hall meeting with supporters also in Lagos. At that meeting, the Vice President delivered a speech where he asked party supporters to ensure the current administration retains power in 2019 to continue the gains made so far.
From now on, I've told the DG, where you are not canvassers but partners. We need, what our country needs is a partnership for progress. Partnership for progress. That's what our country needs. I decided many months ago, in fact, since we started campaigning in 2015, that the best way to speak to Nigerians is to go to them. We are not too interested in doing rallies. We want to go to the Nigerians in their homes. The most important thing of all is that we must prevent a situation where people who had stolen our money in the past come back into government. If they do, there is no progress. No matter what they say, they can tell you anything. Oh, they are going to go and find 12 million jobs. You have to ask them, The businesses even that they started, where did they get the money? The money of this country must be preserved so that it will benefit us all. Education, healthcare, jobs. If you don't have money, you can't do it. And there are people, there are only two types of people in Nigeria, two types of leaders. Those who want to steal the money and those who want to use the money for the common good. If we want progress for our country, we must make sure that we put into place those who want to use the money for the common good.
Moving on now, in Lagos State governorship race, the campaign group for the party's candidate, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, received another boost as new members have now been added to its ranks. The campaign group has inaugurated 150 new members in Yaba through another independent campaign group. Leaders of both groups have pledged to ensure victory for the APC in the 2019 election.
So what we did today here was gather the whole community, the artisans, the progressive, the activists, and the politicians, and we put them all in one room to start our inaugural meeting so we can develop strategies on how to elect Babajide Sanwo-Olu as the next governor of Lagos State.
Our effort is to bring up the artisans within this environment in Yaba LCDA to come out en masse and give Babajide Sanwo-Olu thousands of votes. We plan to do more and more better than what we did in the last election.
And still on politics, one of Sanwo-Olu's challengers in governorship race has been speaking on his plans. Governorship candidate for Lagos State chapter of Advanced Nigeria Democratic Party, Oluwasegun Matairu, is promising to take development beyond building bridges, roads and bus stops. He has unveiled his 5-point agenda, which focuses on housing and infrastructure development, blue and green economic growth, capacity building and job creations, unlocking potentials of the local government areas in sports and entertainment, christened as pillars of hope.
We are at a crisis point in Lagos State, and it's only people that are within the corridor of power that will not know that Lagos is at a crisis point. The situation is so terrible that we need to urgently do something to put Lagos working again. It may also interest you to know that at a grassroots neighborhood, we have a large number of teeming youths that are so idle. While you're leaving home in the morning, you see them on the street. When coming back, you see them on the street. They roam about the street from morning to the next day, looking for every opportunity to cause mayhem and take advantage of the situation. If care is not taken, this will turn out to be a bad future. And that's the essence of ensuring that we are able to work with everybody and create an atmosphere that we enhance capacity building for our teeming youths.
A non-governmental organization has been launched in Lagos State. The group Yes We Are Winning Foundation is seeking to make lasting impact in the lives of the less privileged in the society through charity, education and empowerment. This next report has the rest of the details. It's a gathering of people from various walks of life, but with a common goal. They are here for the launch of the Yes We Are Winning Foundation, a non-governmental organization looking to empower, educate and encourage people to achieve their goals. The CEO of the foundation, Mark Ibigbami, says the initiative, which began 2 years ago, was inspired by his passion to positively impact the lives of people.
There has always been that desire to give back to the society. There has always been that passion to care, to help people. All right. So before making it public, that's what I do personally. I like to give to people, impact knowledge, share ideas, share information, and help, basically. So I decided that since I have people that like passion, let's have a group that will do that formally and get support from other people.
Another member of the team gives more insight on the activities of the foundation and its goals.
Apart from impacting on people of this generation, we should also look at the people who are coming up next, so that some problems that we encounter now, we'll have it if these people already have the right mindsets that we're trying to inculcate into them. As part of empowering people, we visit places like orphanage home, correctional home. We visit schools, secondary schools. We have regular posts. We invite articles from people on our blog, on our website. To post encouraging articles. Apart from that, we just visit people to empower them, to assist them, sponsor people to school, stuff like that.
Chairperson of the launch, Eniola Ayeson, highlights the importance of the initiative while pledging continued support for it.
Teenage girl, maybe like just 2 students getting pregnant, for a boy, also a teenager, who barely finished from secondary school, and they live inside the market 24 hours. So when they wake up, what do? They look around for what to eat. And when I say look around, usually it's something illegal. So they are always against the law because they survive. And then they are into all kinds of drugs to subdue that feeling of frustration. I have seen it, I have met with them, I have been part of them. So you can take it from us that we will be there all the way with you.
In a country with hundreds of non-governmental organizations, Ibigbami says the diversification of his foundation makes it unique.
Many NGOs focus on mostly one thing, maybe a girl child, maybe a male or something. But we are not just focusing on one thing. We are general. We focus on a lot of things. We believe that we can reach out to different sections of the society, the youth, the young, the old. And basically, there's a lot of desperation, a lot of frustration around. We want to promote the attitude of winning. So it cuts across every strata, it cuts across race, and because there's a lot of depression everywhere. People just take their lives, suicides, and so we want to do things that will actually spread hope and confidence and promote peace.
The key objective of the Yes We Are Winning Foundation is human capital development, which cuts across its back-to-school program where 25 out-of-school children are enrolled into schools every academic session, and its skill acquisition programs for youths, among others. Fidelia Aguncha, TV360 Nigeria. Well, up next is News and Business after this break. Don't go away.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. Well, let's now meet Annetta Felix for the latest in business. Hello, Annetta.
Hello, Fidelia.
So we heard there is news for Nigeria's GDP. It is growing. Tell us more about that.
Well, Nigeria's gross domestic product GDP has grown by 1.81% year-on-year in the third quarter of 2018. The growth is an increase of 0.64% compared to the third quarter of 2017 and a growth of 1.50% compared to the second quarter of 2018. Quarter on quarter, real GDP growth was 9.05%. In the quarter under review, the NBS says aggregate GDP stood at 33.14 million naira in nominal terms. This performance is higher when compared to the third quarter of 2017, which recorded a GDP aggregate of 29.03 million naira, thus presenting a positive year-on-year nominal growth rate of 13.58%. The growth was boosted by an increased oil production, as Nigeria recorded an average daily oil production of 1.94 million barrels per day, higher than that of the second quarter of 2018 production volume of 1.84 million barrels per day by 0.10 million barrels per day. The oil sector contributed 9.38% to total real GDP in the third quarter of 2018, and that's an increase when compared to the preceding quarter, where it contributed 9.84% and 8.55% respectively. Now, there is some relief for Nigerians as the Depot and Petroleum Products Marketers Association, DAPMA, has now suspended its planned shutdown of depots across the country. The strike has been suspended for 5 days to allow the Nigerian government to settle the debts owed to the marketers. The government has promised to settle 236 billion naira out of the outstanding 800 subsidy arrears, but the marketers initially rejected that offer. They have now given room for more negotiations. Let's take a look at the stock market trading activity for today after this. The Nigerian Stock Exchange closes the first trading session for the week in the negative territory, declining by 0.82% in the all-share index, while the market capitalization drops to 11.176 trillion naira. While the insurance sector is down by minus 0.74%, oil and gas is depreciating by minus 1.19%. The banking sector also recorded a decline of minus 0.39%, and the consumer goods sector lost by minus 2.32%. Now, at a ratio of about 25 losers to 23 gainers, Forte Oil leads the list of gainers, appreciating by 6.39%. And that's coming at the back of news that broke on Friday that Forte Oil is the worst performing stock on the Nigerian Stock Exchange in 2017, as the share price opened at 84.43 naira per share, but dropped to 43.48 naira per share. Now, Forte Oil is followed by Okomu Oil, Dangote Cement, and Vito Foam. Now, going back to our list of losers right here, we actually see that Nestle is leading a pack of 25% laggards, and it is actually the stocks of Nestle has hit low in today's trading session, recording a fall of 4.13%. Mobile, Nigerian Breweries, and UACN actually follows closely. We're going now to our top traders, and we see that the banking sector is chopping this chart. Diamond Bank of Nigeria is chopping the list of gainers today. They were on this chart last week, Friday, and they traded almost 45 million shares today. Taking a look at the global stock market, it was bearish as well, as we can see here. FTSE is now largely flat at 6,746.19 basis points. That's declining by 0.50%. The Dow Jones is also down by 1.28%, with profit takers selling off the most shares from Apple, while the stock markets in Japan also closed in the reds, declining by 2.12%. That's it from here, Fidelia.
Thank you, Annette. Well, a red day was for every of them in the stock market, and it's really a big depreciation for the NSE, falling by over 0.80%. And Apple keeps falling and falling. Really, what's causing that? We don't know. Well, thank you once again, Annette, for that update. Still to come is news on the foreign and sports scene. Stay with us.
Corruption not in my country.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, madam.
My name is Alero. I am not sick. I just need you to help put your stamp on this medical report. I want to tender it at my office as a sick leave. I'll pay 10,000 naira.
Ma'am, that is impersonation. I'm not a doctor.
Oga, be like say this English no go pay. I go increase the money to 20,000 naira. I beg. You know, if I give you that 20,000, as you wide so, you know, if it still help your condition more. So, you know, say you spread well.
As I spread like virus, I'll be.
You talk.
Come out! If person come your hospital, talk say make you give am fake medical report, make you go take collect sick leave. Talk and say no, na corruption, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Welcome back. The European Union has renewed sanctions against politicians it believes are implicated in human rights violations in the Democratic Republic of Congo. An asset freeze and a ban on entering the EU will apply to 14 named individuals for another year. They include Emmanuel Shadari, President Joseph Kabila's preferred successor in presidential elections coming 13 days from now. Reports say that last week the Congolese Foreign Minister Leonard Okitundu asked the EU's foreign policy chief to suspend the sanctions against Shadari before the elections, and the African Union made a similar request last month. Some 100 Somali MPs have backed a motion of no confidence against President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo. They accuse him of undermining the constitution by signing a secret deal to unite Somalia with Ethiopia and Eritrea. The next stage is for the speakers to set a date for the debate in the parliament. Relations have thawed between leaders of the three East African nations who have held a series of talks since Ethiopia's reformist Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed was appointed in April. And in sport, Funke Oshinaike, representing Akwa Ibom State, has been knocked out of the women's singles by Nimota Arigbeshola of Lagos in the quarterfinal of the table tennis category in Nigeria Sports Festival. Nimota won 4-3 to qualify for the semi-final, and Segun Toriola of Akwa Ibom has qualified for the semi-final of the men's single. He defeated Segun Feleye of Lagos 4-1. The finals of the men and women's singles comes up tomorrow. And President of the Confederation of African Football, Ahmed Ahmed, says South Africa could step in as host of the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations. CAF has been studying alternative solutions for the staging of the June 15 to July 13 event after Cameroon were withdrawn as host due to delays with preparation and security concerns. A final decision on who will host next summer's football showpiece will be announced on January 9, 2018. And that's all on news now. Thank you so much for watching. I am Fidelia Aguncha.